Hey everybody! And a warm welcome to a new story. Today's story is called Illegally Park and Block Driveways in Our Neighborhood and Do It Consistently While Throwing a Party, Expect What's Coming. From the ProRevenge subreddit. I hope you like it and will enjoy the time. If you like my content and this kind of videos, please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. As always, this story is told from the OP's point of view. Enjoy it. 2 years ago, a new family moved into our quiet little neighborhood and began their reign of terror. We've lived here for over 20 years in this neighborhood, and except for these past 2 years, it's been wonderful. I love our neighbors. Except this family. This just family sucks. I'm not even sure where to begin. They are loud, they are dirty, they are obnoxious, their dog barks at all hours. They constantly yell at each other, they throw parties well into the night. They steal my older neighbor's paper, they actually trained their Rottweiler to fetch the neighbor's paper, impressive but wrong. They throw their dog's poo into other yards. So much. They even cut my 80-something-year-old neighbor's prized roses for themselves. Who does that? There are about 100 issues I could write about in how we've all dealt with them. But this past weekend was my own glorious take on it all. Oh, and yes, we tried talking to them, we tried inviting them over, we've done nice things for them. And all we've expected is that they act like decent neighbors. That's never happened. In our neighborhood, parking is scarce. Most of these homes are classic 1950s with single-lane driveways, and parking is limited even on the streets. There's a busy road a few blocks away that has a great nightlife and popular restaurants. Which means that at times, especially on the weekends, the street can fill up. This family has 4 drivers and 5 vehicles with only enough space for 2 in their driveway at a time. Constantly they would park and leave their vehicles for days, and sometimes weeks, in front of others' homes, sometimes leaving their driveway empty for no reason with all of their cars parked on the road. I kind of believe that, in itself, isn't that big of a deal except for how and when they would do it. They were intentional about it all, would do so to try to and cause the most grief with everyone. And this went on for months. A complete FU to everyone. After months of this, and no one retaliating or giving them the satisfaction of how pissed we all are, they started parking deliberately in ways to make it difficult to get out of our driveways. I had to have my husband come out most mornings to guide me so I wouldn't hit their car as I backed out of my own driveway. There were also times where they squeezed my neighbor's car on the street to where they couldn't get out. Finally, an older retired neighbor goes down to city police station and inquires about what to do. They found a code or law stating that so much space from the sides of driveways and yada 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 is required. So we come home one night to freshly painted yellow curbs outlining every house surrounding this one. A few weeks ago, my husband's car breaks down and he has to get towed. On his way back, he starts talking with the tow truck driver about these whole neighbors and their cars. He tells my husband that if these cars are parking illegally, we should call the non-emergency line. And if they receive a ticket, to call him and he can tow them at owner's expense. It's the law. My husband and him keep talking. And even meet up for a beer a few nights later. They are big fans of the Blazers. Rip City. He's a real good guy. About a month ago we met a couple in our fair city, and it just so happens that the husband is an officer. We were already planning on meeting that Friday night, and when we met I brought the whole neighbors and their parking. He says that he'll drive through on his shift if he gets time, and if he sees them parked in the yellow, he has no problem ticketing them. Great. He also gets some of his friends to check it out when they have time too. Fantastic. We've been calling almost daily at this point about their cars parked illegally, but nothing was happening. That Saturday night he sends me a text saying he ticketed 3 cars. I missed that text, so no tow truck, but I kind of figured with the 3 tickets they'd get the idea. They didn't. Off and on all week it was the same. This past Saturday the teenage son throws a party and everyone, I mean every single one of their guests and them, parked in the yellow of someone's driveway or blocked someone out altogether. Obviously the little SHT told all of his friends to block our driveways or block our cars in. I sent a text to our officer friend who told me to call the non-emergency line and he'd be the one to look into it. But I'm scheming bigger. I call up the tow truck driver and tell him that there are at least 15 cars parked illegally. And all are about to receive parking tickets for blocking driveways and cars. I let him know we are friends with an officer and he and I scheme a little further. We get a solid plan. I call our officer friend back and tell him our plan. And I also mention that the party is likely going to be filled with underage drinkers. Now, I hate busting parties but I make exceptions for little SHTS. And especially little underage drinking and driving SHTS. He and I finalize the plan. Here's how it all went down. Officer and 3 of his partners go through the neighborhood citing all of the cars. Meanwhile, our tow truck driver friend has assembled a group of drivers in the nearby grocery store parking lot. My husband and I make anonymous call about a possible underage party. The tow truck drivers start at the ends of our street grabbing the cars as quickly as possible. A few alarms here and there but no way could they hear it in the party. When they approach the house, my husband makes an anonymous call about an underage party in our neighborhood. Conveniently, our officer friend just so happens to still be in the neighborhood so he and his partner go over to the house to check on it. As they knock on the door, lights go out, music shuts off, and the house goes quiet. At this moment, the tow trucks come in and are now towing the remaining 5 cars right from in front of their home. I just wish I could see the kids' faces inside as they are all having a dilemma about what to do. Do they go out and bust themselves for underage drinking and try to stop their cars from being towed, or do they just sit and bite the bullet and watch $250 plus go down the drain? On Sunday they had 3 cars return from being towed and all 3 are parked just shy of the yellow lines. I'll call this a win. My husband and a couple of neighbors also spent Sunday putting up some new cameras. They were all very giddy and loud about it all. Something about all the lights and police on Saturday made them nervous. Lol. Edit, for the threats against me for busting the underage party, how did you skip right over? As they knock on the door, lights go out, music shuts off, and the house goes quiet. Nothing happened to the kids at the party other than them watching their cars get towed off. In America, the police can't just go into a home without a warrant. If the kids aren't opening their door or inviting the officers in, there's nothing the police can do other than stand outside. What do you think about this story? Tell me your thought in the comments. If you like the story and the content, please leave a like, subscribe and share this video. Also have a look into my playlist for more entertaining stories.